What's going on, everybody? Your boy Yakutees here to give you guys a review for Belle Collective Season 1, Episode 3. I am going to do my best to have Episode 4 done today because I need to have that done prior to, or at least watch it prior to doing the panel. If y'all don't get it today, you'll definitely get it tomorrow. I'm trying to get caught up on all my videos this week. With Belle Collective, I was trying to let this marinate a little bit so I can come to you a little bit more objective because I feel like I'm probably going to upset some people when I get to speaking on Marie and her situation. And then things just started to happen, even like the last 2 days with all the weather we've been getting, and we've been getting single digits and negative digit weather some way somehow for like 2 days. It messed up our internet and cable, so I wasn't able to actually go back and watch the shows like I planned on doing. So, but here we are. Here we are. And the funny part is all of that, and I didn't do this video, but don't judge me. So we start off with Tambra. It's a B-Day rehash that she's doing minus the drama. She's speaking with her parents, if I didn't already say that. She speaks what her goals are. Her mom wants her to have a family. She says it's on the board. Her parents still talk to her ex, and that reminded me so much of the Deborah Cox and RL song "We Can't Be Friends" when Deborah did her verse. Funny. And the mom is pushing for grandbabies. One thing that I will say is I can understand this mind frame and this mentality, because if I had to throw a dart out there, given her age of what she's saying, I'm pretty sure she's a Gen Xer, which means her parents are more than likely baby boomers. And with that generation and the solid generation, with the solid generation, it was just about having kids for productivity and all the other stuff. Baby boomers, not so much, but still trying to have a child at a minimum for the whole thing of when you get to older age. And my mother has had this conversation with me. I just don't know if I'm being in a relationship with anybody at this damn point. But you don't want to get to old age and not, at least have somebody that could assist you in your latter years. My mother has 3 children, and I'm the baby. And she already knows if it comes down to it, I got it. Like, I'm down with like 4 flat tires. Hence why, I'm now her tenant. Like, I'm on the second floor, she's on the first floor. Meaning, if anything happened, I can get to her immediately. So understand it. Now, her parents didn't say that, but I kind of feel that's what it is. But Tambra needs to do what she wants to do for herself, and not because her parents are pushing this. I'm not going to speak on this anymore. Like, if this is all that she's going to talk about, trust me when I say I'm truly going to gloss over it because it's not giving me nothing. Antoinette meets with her friend Kaylon. I'm sorry. So Kaylon and Latrice comes to her practice, and to see the progress of what is going on. I One thing that I want is I would love to see Antoinette actually doing her job. Because she is a dentist. So I got it. You're trying to build your own practice, but I'm pretty sure you're still working. So why haven't we gotten you in those things and showing us in your workplace? Come on now, help me out. So they rehash the party because this is always what happens when there's a big event. It's always a rehash. And Antoinette says, Letitia was being shady, all this other stuff, and even said how some of the girls, like to mask being real behind being real nasty. And she breaks down what being real is to her friend Kaylon. What I will say is that gives me a bit of a pause. I do understand not everything is being discussed between people who have different ethnic backgrounds. But something like that, you really mean to tell me that conversation had not come up until this point? But okay, I've heard some stuff about Kaylon, so I ain't seen it yet. I ain't seen nobody's review yet, so I'm reserving some things. But I feel like I'm probably gonna have to let Kaylon have it. I feel it in my spirit. So we get Marie, and she now. I have to correct myself on the previous review where I was saying that her husband had all these kids. Misspoke. It is her son Jerez who has 3 kids under the age of 1, and she's currently watching 2 of them while he's living his best life. She doesn't like that one of the babies has an earring, and that baby happens to be a male child. Which, okay, whatever. I mean, granted, and I understand, for baby girls, they do get their ears pierced early because of the simple fact that, yeah, they're going to feel it, but they're going to be able to get be able to get over the pain really quickly, which is why for the boys, for parents that decide to get them circumcised, whether it be for a religious reason or just for a personal reason, is they do it while they're still young because it's not going to hurt them as much rather than being an adult and all that other jazz. And she takes care of his issues because he's in school. So that is the rationale that she is giving. And it's a lot that was left to be desired, and I'll get on that all momentarily. And I don't know what I wrote with that. Oh, I'm sorry. So he has been avoiding one of the baby mama's phone calls. I don't know if I put it in here, but I'm gonna say it now. But he is sleeping with one of the other baby mamas. So he's sleeping with her, not responding to the others. Yet Marie don't know where he at, but he over there sleeping with this one over here. And Marie has chosen to take all of this on as a burden. And I understand the babies did not ask to be here, so she's doing that. But she's also helping the baby mothers out to the point where one of them was saying how she needed a math tutor. Ma'am, that is not her job. That is not her job. And if you feel that like the baby ain't got nothing to do with this, you can easily just buy Pampers. You could buy formula. You can buy things that will literally go to the child and to nothing else rather than helping out in all these other ways. But at the same exact time, a lot of what she's doing is she's helping out and there is no consequence to her son. Get to it later. So we have Latrice and Mel, who is her business partner. Well, I'm not gonna say business partner, but they're having a business lunch. Cliff calls from the shop to find out where she is. She tells him where they are. Cliff is feeling away. She says that her goal for this particular um, how can I say this? So it's still under the umbrella of her main business, but she's doing like a hair care line, and her main goal is to get this product in beauty supply stores throughout all of America, which is a great goal to have. Cliff arrives, and he's furious because he wasn't invited, especially given the fact that he's investing his money, and he feels that he needs to have a say so in things. And she really wants him to just be a silent partner. But this raises a question of what happened with the paperwork. Because if you really want him to be a silent investor, all of that should have been handled before. I get it, y'all together and whatnot, but regardless of relationships, paperwork still needs to happen. I'll talk about this when I do my growing up hip hop right after this, because these are all indicators that you handle business first. Fuck all that other shit. Business first. So because you haven't truly identified that he needed to be one, and he's investing his money because that ain't mapped out, yeah, he's allowed to vocalize his opinion. Now, does he need to be at every fucking meeting? I don't know. That ain't my business. It's hers. So we get Letitia and Marie. So they rehash the party. Letitia tells her no one should have that much power over her, meaning the girls, to bring her to the point that she's at. Facts. So they talk family, and Marie says that mentions that she wanted for her son to attend school close by because the school that he's trying to go to is 3 hours away. He got all these children. So Letitia asks, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Marie asked one of her kids where I guess her son was, and she I'm sorry, the child, because I forget which gender the child was, but says that Jerez was getting ready for school, and she says she goes to talk to her son, but before she does, she turns the recorder on her phone. Now, regardless of what her reasoning behind this was, it gives me pause because the only reason that I could even see is you're recording him because if things go left and you have to present it to authorities or to court, you have that. But the fact that you go in knowing that you have to record this conversation, regardless of the reason, right there is a flag, is an indicator. But she says that she did it because her children like to go to her parents, particularly her father, with their issues. I have a problem with that too. I really really do. Cause even growing up, and now in how we grew up, because I'm back in the apartment that I was born in and grew up in, we lived up here. My grandparents lived right below us. I ain't damn time went downstairs and went to grandma and granddaddy and told on my mama who was right the hell upstairs. Because even had I done that, well, one, my granddaddy wouldn't have kicked her. My granddaddy would have whooped my ass. And then I would have came upstairs and got an ass whooping from my mama. So it wouldn't have really made no difference. But I just don't understand that. Um. So her son is packing up, and she tells him, to pack everything because when you leave, you can't come back. Now, one thing, and people do this. I have done this, but I don't do it as much as a lot of people do. Is when they're telling the story, they tell it in such a way that they become the victim, which is exactly what she's doing here. Because in her saying that, I'm sitting back like, I can't believe that you just calmly told him, well, since you're packing up your thing, pack up everything because when you leave, you can't come back. I didn't believe that. And she says he drew back a punch. He drew back to punch her. Her younger child jumped in between them and said stop. And then Jerez punches a hole in the wall by her head and then punches two more holes in the hallway. I'm sorry, in the walls down the hallway. A lot to unpack there, but again, we're going to get to it. Now, again, unless your child is truly unstable, you calmly saying that should not bring him to that point. But anyway, so what she played is, she actually has an attitude as she's talking to him, and it appears that the audio was either chopped up by production or was chopped up by her so she can come off in a certain light, but we couldn't get past the fact that she came in there with an attitude. Not to say as a parent you cannot have an attitude, but when it comes to interacting with people, regardless of what your relationship is and what your stature is, if you give someone a certain type of energy, you know how they say for every action there is an equal or greater reaction. That is what happened here. So you came at him with a two, he came back at you with a two. The only thing is you came with a BB, he came with an assault rifle. That's how this thing panned out in terms of the exchange of words and tones and voices and volume. So he says she on that lame shit. Get off that lame shit. That shit made me snap. I'll crush that wall. I swear to God. Is what he is saying. And Letitia tells Marie that she's a good mother, a good friend, and people closest to us are the ones that hurt us. That is a fact. That is a fact. Marie doesn't feel like there is nothing that she said to him to make him respond like that. But again, I don't feel like we got the entire story, and not just that. It's not just that moment. That is not an isolated incident. You can't tell me this is the first time that he's done it. There is other things there that she ain't saying that if she sheds a light on it, it would really help us to understand the situation more. But of course, she's not going to tell everything because she doesn't want to come off in a negative light. And she said, he makes me feel like he hates me. I don't know. Letitia wants them to talk to each other, and she feels like, anger is a generational curse. Not necessarily, I won't necessarily agree with that, but I do believe there's certain things that has happened with other generations. Certain things, we can debate this. I'm not going to debate it with y'all, but y'all can argue in the comments. But certain things are passed down through our DNA. Certain stressors, can affect how our DNA is and how things are transported between, parent to child. And certain things that have existed, within prior generations get brought to us. And one of the biggest things, you hear me say this a lot, is parents and people, or I should say the community in general, do not make it easy or do not allow children to have a voice. And I'm only going to speak from the male perspective because I am male. Where for men is, you got to be strong. You can't cry. Doing it, that's some bitch shit. That's this, that's that. So because you are not given the tools to be able to articulate what it is that you are feeling, all of that gets closed in. And because you never knew how to verbalize your emotions and what you're feeling, the only emotions that you have left at your disposal is happiness and anger. And that anger quickly goes from being an emotion to being something physical, which is what is going on here. But there is still so much more there. Another topic for another day. So we get Letitia and Tambra. Tambra helps her meet with a councilman who is related to her. I believe that was her cousin. And he says that he looks for passion and vision to work with others, and gives her just a brief rundown of the steps. But I feel like there was a whole lot that was missing there. But whatever. We get Latrice. She spends time with her hubby. He's trying to give her a swimming lesson. Latrice says that she has daddy issues, which is why she calls him Zaddy. One thing I will say is I can appreciate her being self-aware and knowing that she has daddy issues, but at the same exact time, the fact that you haven't worked through these and your first instinct against. Anyway, moving the hell on. I ain't even do that to her. So we get Marie. All right. So she's talking to Cedric and tells him about the sit down that she's doing with Jerez and having Essie there as a moderator. My first thing is I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that Essie is being a moderator. Simply because of the simple fact that Essie is going to be very biased coming into this. Very biased. And this is something that you need a non-biased party, someone who doesn't know either person, that can give an objective view on what it is that's going down. But when you have somebody that is obviously closer to one than the other, then everything is skewed, and you're going to approach it from the perspective of, okay, well, I'm cool with this person, so I'm defending this person. She says that she didn't know if he was going to be there for, since he didn't come home last night. Okay. Now with that, that was just a random we throwing this in there, where that deserves its own little conversation. And he says, he stayed at his other spot, and they let us know, or more or less, she lets us know that they had separate spots. Now I don't know if the house that she's living in is hers or if it's theirs, but they had their separate spots, and they pretty much have thus maintained them. Which some people think that that's a bad idea. But at the same time, I mean, if you own the property, you better rent that motherfucker out and get your money. Now, if it's just a place you rent, well, then that's a tall tale sign of some other things. Uh, and he says he didn't come, and so he didn't come home for a few days. We don't necessarily get into why he didn't come home for a few days. And Essie joins them, and she mentions that you know that there's not their son, Marie's son, because Cedric is not the father, but that he never had a strong male counterpart, a male figure, strong male figure. And Cedric feels like this issue should be between them and not Essie, which I totally agree. But what is happening here is, again, Essie is coming in to defend Marie, and to sit here and put this all on Cedric. All of this is not on Cedric, because the question is, where is his real father? And also, Marie needs to own a lot of this, because you are modeling behavior for your child. The fact that the father is not there, we don't know what happened with him, but with Cedric, you were together. He did whatever it is that he did. You divorce. I believe he stepped out. You divorced him, and now you're back together. And rumor has it that they are currently divorced, but that's not here nor there. But you are showing your child instability within relationships, and you not, so because you're not modeling a certain behavior, and because you're not showing respect for yourself as a woman, that is telling your child that, okay, well, hell, if the men that she with don't respect her, I don't have to respect women. But a lot of this is, you need to own this as the primary parent. But rather than sit here and take responsibility for what it is that you are doing, and what you have created within this child of yours, your first instinct is to push it off on, okay, all right. This is why I waited. This is why I waited. Cause I know a lot of people, primarily, y'all women out there may not agree with me on this, and that's cool. That's fine. That's fine. We can agree to disagree, baby. So as he says, she feels that because they're business partners, she feels pimped too, and whatever. I forget how she said because I didn't write down exactly, but whatever Marie has is half hers, and it's the way that shit came out. It's like, so everything is half yours, huh? I ain't finna sit here and speculate, but okay. But she says that she feel pimped. Cedric feels that he's being pimped, that he's a third wheel, and I'm looking like hell. See, all y'all asses is mine. This ass is being pimped by Jerez. The fact that Jerez can sit here and do whatever he wants to, the fact that Jerez can be so sexually irresponsible and have 3 children by 3 different baby mamas, all under the age of 1, and Marie is the one, quote unquote, taking care of the whole thing. He the pimp, but okay. So Essie opens the door for Jerez. He's now there, and she says, "How you doing, baby? Hold on. How you doing, baby? If this your friend, that first let that would have been me and Jerez, and let that would have been one of my mom's good girlfriends, not even her or her sisters. It wouldn't have been no how you doing, baby. That interaction would have been a hell of a lot different. But I understand because they're trying to have a breakthrough. You don't want to automatically pounce on him because then he gonna be on the defensive and you won't get nothing going. But again, this is why you need a third party who don't know y'all. Cedric says, "Good to see you." He says, and then he says, "Yes, sir." So Cedric is sitting here being a Cheshire cat this whole entire time. But the fact that Jerez said yes, sir to him says a lot there where he respects Cedric. It appears that he respects Cedric more than he respects his own goddamn mama. Woo, all right. So Marie says that she made the mistake of giving him everything that he wanted, and it wasn't intentional. Now, right there, I'm gonna need for you to stop lying. But also, you can't. And her thing, and she's saying that she's saying this so for all the parents, more or less the women, to not do it for their children. But you're leaving out a whole lot. Why is it that you felt that you had to buy his love? What happened? Was it because you did something dirty to the daddy? Was it because that you felt that because you weren't being attentive to him and his needs because you were doing what a parent is supposed to do and getting their ass out there and working and making sure that the basic essentials for your child is taken care of, that they have, food to eat, water coming, through the pipeline, that they are clean, that they are clothed, have a roof over their head. So you feel that, okay, because see, now I'm not finna analyze her. I'm not gonna do that. So Marie says to him, "The way you talked to me was horrible." Then she brings up what she does for him and her sacrifices. And guess what, Marie? This is where you had me fucked up. As a parent, you don't have to run down that motherfucking list. You don't. You really the fuck don't. But again, it's some issues there within inside of her. The fact that you feel that you, as the parent, as the grown ass adult, because your son is an adult, but you a grown ass adult. See. Okay. Jerez, now, Jerez. This way you had me fucked up. He says he snapped because he felt like, you know, he was trying to he was trying to take control of his decision, and she wasn't allowing him to take control of his life. She tells him, "You lost a season. It wasn't good for you. You had 3 babies. You didn't condition. Conditioning meaning he didn't keep his body where it needed to be for the sport that he's playing, which is basketball. You didn't work out. You need to sit out a semester from basketball and take care of your business." But here is the thing. This is also something that you help to contribute. Because while your whole thing is, I'm going to take care of what you done created, you just go ahead and play ball. And it almost seems like you was doing it because you feel like he was going to get on and you was going to get some brownie points for that. But because you didn't instill in him a good work ethic, a good ethic of taking care of things that need to be taken care of, i.e. like his motherfucking children, this is all you. Anyway, she tells him, if you can't respect your mother, you can't respect your wife or your girlfriend. Facts. Plus, for his baby mamas, this should be an indication of if he is treating the first woman that he ever loved like this, how the hell is he going to treat me? That's a word. He apologizes, and Cedric says he appreciates him for apologizing. Cedric, if you don't shut the fuck up, if you don't sit your catfish grinning ass the fuck up, Because first and foremost, y'all let this motherfucker off the hook too easy. So just because he apologized and that was it, and then there wasn't no consequences for this motherfucker kicking your door down, punching a hole right in your head, punching two more holes in down the hallway as he walked the fuck off. There ain't no consequence for that. There ain't no consequence for him trying to up and leave, and you still take care of his basic responsibility. Y'all got me so fucked up. She talks to him about counseling for his anger, and that is where that episode cuts off. Again, I don't know. They all got me fucked up. They really do. They really the fuck do. But that's it. That's all I have. And hopefully, like I said, it's 5:16 right now. I still have to do this review for Growing Up Hip Hop, and I need to at least watch this other episode before 7:30 when this panel happens. You guys will either get this video right before the panel or during the panel. But regardless, it will be up. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all not only for the panel tonight, I will also see you for Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta review that I'm about to do right after this. And yeah, for everything else that I plan on doing, I'm going to do a lot of posting this week to get caught up. So thank you guys so thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys for the next video. Peace.